Hello and welcome to episode 6, I think it is now, of the WBBL review. Long time no see, Melita. How are you?
I know, I'm good, thank you. I've missed the reviews, the weekly reviews. Now it's been a couple of weeks now since we
Yeah.
haven't had one, so got a lot to cover.
I was gonna say, got lots to catch up on. We've had triple doubles. We've had GB international breaks. You haven't played in about a year, is it now?
Feels like it. Same amount of time as my injury, it feels like.
We haven't actually talked since you were one assist away from a triple double, I don't think. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
how close was that?
I know. I wish I had someone on the bench or something shouting at me, "You're one assist away," and then maybe I would have made an extra pass instead of a shot.
And looks it got quite close in that game towards the end. And I think there was a couple of moments where you shot and I was, oh man, what are you shooting for? You only need one more. Pass the ball.
I know it was tough because we was down about 15 with under 3 minutes left to go. And yeah, I'm actually super proud of my team. I don't think I've ever played in a game where the gap's been so big and we brought it back into a one possession game at the end of the game. So yeah, I in the moment I was just thinking, look, we need some points. Just
Yeah.
started jacking them up and it was going in. I was like, yes.
We've also haven't talked since our coach of the year has now left Leicester. Like, what's that all
I
about?
I am so upset. And the thing is, as well, we play Leicester on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I don't even get to experience him. Like, I was actually looking forward to, like, I was thinking about maybe doing a little bit of trash talking. Like, if I hit a three, like, walk over to him just to see how he reacts, just cause some banter and stuff. But yeah, it was kind of shocking, actually. I'm not sure. Do you know any details of it or?
No one's come out and said really why. Just they've parted ways. And gone in a different direction, I guess. I mean, they haven't been too convincing, as I think we've talked about a few times this season. But we are 5 games into the league season.
Yeah.
Whether it's solely based on performances or there was other reasons going on as well, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know because I know there was like little sparks I was hearing about him being a bit too much, but I personally didn't see it as a bad thing or so I'm wondering if maybe during practices it was 10 times worse than what we're
Mm.
actually seeing in games. I don't know. I thought he seemed pretty decent, especially the performance against the London Lions as well. They did really well.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
He was.
And then, sorry, go on.
No, yeah, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, I've forgotten her name, but the player that wants to leave the Riders or has
Oh,
left,
yeah. Do you know what?
that
That's
drama.
completely slipped my mind. It was all over Instagram stories, wasn't it, about
Yeah,
how she wants to leave a contract and then Leicester were asking for money back, or there was like
yeah.
no official comment, but yeah, that was some drama.
Yeah, I usually I try not to comment, but this time I was like, at Leicester Riders, you got anything to say about this? Like, is there gonna be are we gonna actually know the truth? Because from player to player, sad hearing stories about that. But obviously I can't no one can really actually say anything because we don't have both sides to the story. So
Mhm.
it's yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if she's still there or if she's left already. Well, I'll see you on Sunday,
I was
but
going to say you'll have to keep us updated after Sunday's match.
right. I might ask some of the players on a foul shot. Hey, what happened to that girl?
we Last week I also talked to Lauren in your absence. Unfortunately, I mean we tried hard to make that interview work.
That literally months of hard work trying to get us all together.
But I made sure I asked all the hard hitting questions like what's her favorite Disney film and if she has pineapple on a pizza. So don't worry, I got all the information we needed. What's your opinion on pineapple on a pizza? I don't think I've ever asked you that question.
A must.
It's a must. Oh, sorted.
Yeah. With barbecue base as well, not tomato base.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We can continue working together. That's absolutely no problem at all.
Right.
I mentioned a triple double earlier. Kat Carr, continuing her very impressive. Player of the month as well. She got very impressive MVP candidate again.
Yep, again. And in all honesty, I feel like if you're not following her on social media as a player, you're missing out because she's so inspiring as well. She does quite a lot off the court as well in terms of being a personal trainer, and she eats really good too. So like she's actually a legit perfect role model.
So all young aspiring players, go and follow Kat.
Yeah.
And London continue their European adventure as well. They're currently two wins, 2 losses in their 4 games so far. Have you been following much?
Yeah, I have a little bit. It's just tough because most of my practices are at the same time as everyone's games. Mm-hmm. So I've just been checking in afterwards and checking in with some of the players as well. And again, like they are new, it's a new experience for them. So I think now they've got the next 3 games away. So that's going to be a huge challenge for them to play in the WBBL and then having to fly and like whether it's the next day but I'm a bit jealous because that means that their practices aren't going to be too intense, maybe shooting practices and then you just play. There's always a pro for that.
Kennedy Leonard put on her Twitter, I think it was, after the latest loss in Europe, saying you never lose, you kind of just constantly learning. It was just something you put on similar when you had that big loss against London. You put something on similar, that kind of attitude of don't take it kind of as hard as you probably could, but what can you do differently? What can you learn from it? Is that such an important thing to kind of attitude to have?
Yeah, it is. And her father actually commented on my post as well. So I don't know whether they had a conversation kind of similar to when she lost as well. And I think it's a part of growing up too, because when I was younger and we would lose games, I would maybe cry after the game, or it would just wear me down for a very long time. But now, like straight after a game, I can almost brush it off and think, okay, on to the next game. What did I do wrong in the last game? How can I improve myself for the next game? And just keep the train moving. Like there's no point in stopping to dwell on the past because it's happened. So yeah, I'm just taking every game now as a learning curve because I feel like a brand new player myself, and this is a brand new experience for Kennedy as well too. So yeah, you can't take no L's really. Everything is, you have to see everything as a win.
So was that London game the last game Gloucester played?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
I was gonna, like, obviously you've
Are you not talking about it?
No. I don't.
I've erased that game out of my mind.
But I mean, you've had how long? Is it 5 weeks off? It's like not off, but I know you've been training and stuff. But 5 weeks without matches. How hard is that? Knowing that kind of in the back of your mind, that was the game that you've kind of ended on.
I know I think that was the hardest thing, knowing that I'm not going to play again for another 5 weeks, and my last game was getting smacked. So in training, we've just been trying to go hard. Conditioning has been crazy. If you follow me on Instagram, you kind of see what we've been doing a little bit, or I've been venting a little bit saying like I can't walk up the stairs because we had to run non-stop for 5 minutes twice or do 17s. I haven't done that in years as well. So it's been a great time for us to get back into proper like pre-season, I guess, and work on ourselves as well. So from the London game, it's great because they fully showed our weaknesses. So now we can actually improve on our weaknesses and hopefully do a lot better in the Leicester game.
So am I not allowed to mention the scoreless third quarter? Or is that
You know
something you
what?
can't
Go
mention?
ahead. Let's
Sorry.
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's move on. Let's change the subject. Yeah.
I didn't even know until the next day. The next day, that's when someone told me. I was like, "You serious? No, you're lying." And then I saw it all over social media. I was like, "Yeah, that's." Anyway, moving on.
Let's move on and talk about GB a little bit because they've had a couple of games in this international window. Unfortunately, it was two defeats. Kind of have you been up to date with the GB games?
Yeah, I was able to watch the second game against Estonia, but the first game against Greece, I had training at the same time, so I only kind of just got to hear from other people how it went. Did you get to watch it?
I've watched most of them. Yeah, I've heard like other people talking about what they think maybe the issues are, and I know Dave and Dan on the Sunday night breakdown, they kind of cover it quite well. So if you haven't listened to that, they cover the GB games quite well in their latest episode. When they were talking about kind of a lack of plan, a lack of vision, couldn't see kind of what they were trying to do. 5 or 6 players playing point guard throughout the first half against Greece. The old Kennedy Leonard debate came up because obviously it's I guess it's a straight shootout between her and Samuelson to who gets that spot because of the FIBA rules at the moment. But yeah, that debate's been raging on Twitter.
Yeah, and I mean, it's tough because Carly has been in the system. Her accolades are WNBA player, playing in EuroLeague. So it's kind of tough to then say, oh, Kennedy Leonard, WBBL Euro Cup. Compared to Carly's resume, it doesn't add up. However, you can see like GB doesn't really have a point guard. So would have Kennedy been a better fit for the team? And it's kind of hard because I try to keep out of it quite a lot because I don't know what the coaches want, or I don't know how they're picturing it. And for me, like I know them both as well. So I would never pick between two people that I know as well. So it is a tough one, and I don't think anyone can really say too much on it because they're not in the coach's position. So there might be a lot of things that we're actually missing out that the coaches are seeing. So it's tough, but it is a new team if you think about it as well. Like there's a lot of players that may haven't had as much court time as previous years, and even the starting 5 is completely different to like when I was playing, when you had 5 or 6, 7 players who played with each other for like 10 years. So maybe not 10 years, that's a bit much, but for a long time. So everyone needs to understand that GB is trying to find themselves again. So I think this camp or this break was just a time for them to kind of get their feet wet again.
Yeah, it's great to see so many WBBL players kind of as part of the setup as well. Shanice and Holly kind of getting their first senior minutes. Hannah Robb obviously is new to the international fold as well, but obviously that strong London core, I guess, of the GB squad it's encouraging to see so many from the WBBL.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering why Christine wasn't at the games, because she's been doing really well in Euro Cup as well. So I would love to know why she wasn't there. And then Ailey obviously unfortunately was injured, so that's tough as well. And Rachel coming back as well, that's amazing. I'm super happy for her as well. It's great to see her out on the court, and even Azania too.
Yeah.
Back from
She's had a few years out of
retirement.
the international fold. Yeah.
Yeah, double doubles both games. Really good.
So I think, although 2 defeats, there were a lot of injuries to kind of that hampered GB, and maybe there's a lot of new faces to look into the future. I guess let's put it that. Let's leave it that one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's have a little chat about the WBBL season, because I guess the international window gives us a chance just to reflect on what's gone on, and it was still very early into the season. But are anyone going to stop London, or do you think? I mean, we've got 3 teams undefeated. We've got Sheffield, London, and we've got Sevenoaks in the league, undefeated in the league.
Yeah.
Are anyone going to stop London though?
I cannot wait for the London against Sevenoaks game. I'm praying to Lord. If we've got practice, coach, can we postpone practice? Because
come on, Jay, help us out. Come on.
Exactly. The last game, it was I believe the Lions beat Sevenoaks by 3 points. I want to say
it wasn't many. Yeah, it wasn't many.
Yeah,
that was in the cup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sevenoaks were up pretty much the whole game, and now you've got Janice Monacana back with Sevenoaks.
Big news.
Exactly, previous MVP. So that just says it all, really. I want to say Sevenoaks have it, but because the Lions are playing in the Euro Cup, so they're getting better games than Sevenoaks, will that make Lions improve better as a team?
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm not saying anything to any of the players. I'm just, guys, I'm neutral. I'm neutral right now, but that's going to be exciting. And I kind of feel like that's the game that should be on Sky Sports for to represent our league. It would be huge if there could be like a big promotion for it, because it's just after Christmas as well, or after New Year's too. So I think that would be great to try and get, whether it's everyone come down to the game to watch, or just make a big fuss about it.
And we've got this weekend though, we've got the Sheffield London game, which again promises to be a good game. 2 undefeated teams in the league.
Yeah. Sheffield's bigs are pretty decent as well. They are like a pretty fast shooting team too, so it is going to be interesting. I think they can break London down and make London pay for the mistakes that they make, but then again, it's still going to be very hard to beat London.
I think I think we've said this before, but we kind of questioned, they've got immense talent in that squad, but will they gel together? And then that first game we saw them play was just like, oh yeah, they will, yeah. And it's like they've been playing for years.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, they just seem so strong. It's just
yeah, and the thing is about them as well is that one person can have a bad game and then someone else will just pick up the slack. So they just got so many guns on their team. Whereas like with Sheffield, their starters are strong, but then after that, it dips pretty low. So and that's why I think also Sevenoaks will do good, because they've got a decent rotation as well.
Let's talk about yourself, well, your team a little bit more. How happy are you with the start that Gloucester have made as a franchise this season?
Yeah, it's been going okay. Obviously, it's kind of hard because we are brand new, so we've been hit with a lot of stuff, like for example, not being able to get any Americans or just any foreigners, because we're waiting on all of that kind of stuff that I don't really know much about. So yeah, I mean, we've only played 4 games and we've got a short rotation. So it's just trying to keep everyone healthy and also still trying to gel together because at first we was kind of struggling because we didn't know um, how we wanted to play together or what kind of team are we and things like that. So yeah, it's nice that we had this little break. So I don't even know what to expect on Sunday, if I'm being honest. I think everyone's going to see a brand new team.
You've been mentioning like obviously the fitness side of things in this kind of 5 week window. Is that kind of linked to the short rotation? Is it to try and give your starting five that extra time on court, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because well, for me personally, anyway, I told my coach I'm super unfit, so I
Oh, that's the
can
wrong thing to say. Wrong thing to say.
not anymore. But it was hard because I could last a very long time at the same speed, but I it's the short sprints that was wearing me down. I'm like, oh, I'm out of breath just sprinting back on defense, for example. But if I could just jog, I was fine. So being able to work on that and then work on our fast breaks as well because we are a small team,
Mhm.
so we need to be extra active to just get more points up on the board, which we have been doing. We score quite a bit, but maybe pressing a little bit and just changing the momentum of the games into how we want to play, not necessarily how other teams want to play.
You were playing full 40 minutes towards the end of that. You've been playing all, man. You're not unfit at all.
Don't know how.
We mentioned Kaká, totally MVP candidate again, putting up nearly a triple double every weekend, really. Are there any other players that have really stood out for you to start the season? Anyone really impressing you?
Yeah, Ebony has on Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
She's yeah, she's impressed me. She's basically put the team on her back and said, "I got you guys. Let's go." So yeah, she's really impressed me. She's been super aggressive. She looks so confident as well when she plays. So
She is
it's
really aggressive. Like her drives to the basket is just like she just like goes every time, and you think, whoa, like don't
yeah,
mess, don't mess.
yeah, and yeah, it's nice because you get to see it live as well. And she seems like so into it, so passionate about the game when she plays. So
It's funny
uh,
watching her and Abby Lowe on if they're on the bench together, like proper, really loud, really up for it, and getting everyone going all the time. They're the
yeah,
voices, I reckon, of the team.
right. And then I can imagine as well with the fan base that they have, with the huge attendance that they have at their games. I can imagine that's a nice vibe that they've got there.
You can say there's about 250 for the games that have been so far.
Yeah.
Um, which with the last game against Cardiff, I think they won by 25-35, was it? 25? That's a
Yeah, and I put them to lose tonight. I was
yeah,
trying to be competitive for you, that's all.
yeah. I'm catching you up. Don't worry. I think I'm only 4 behind now. I think I'm only four
Oh god.
behind. So
Yeah,
Ebony,
but I was a bit shocked though. I didn't think that Cardiff would lose by that much.
mm-hmm.
It's it's weird because I feel like that's why I love the WBBL because some games you're not expected to be super close, and then other games it's a bit of a blowout, but it still keeps you on your toes a little bit. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we've had some overtime games, as you say. We've had some games where the score. So yeah, it's all happening.
Yeah.
So we've got Kat, Ebony. Anyone else?
um, Georgia, Georgia girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, is this her first? No, it's not her first, but this season for her, I think's been huge so far. She's put up huge numbers. I haven't seen her play yet, but it's she's doing pretty well. And then with GB playing big minutes as well, that's definitely going to be a confidence booster for her. And even like down to her brother as well, playing in Italy and doing really well on the A2 team. So I can imagine her whole family's literally like, yes, like this is kind of our year, the Gale year.
The Gale, yeah. We talked about Holly Winterburn early on in the season when we talked about one of the European games and how comfortable she looked in that environment, and then she's jumped up to the national stage exactly the same. One of the shots she hit in the last game against Estonia was incredible on the buzzer, and she just looks like she's a veteran player, and she's still so young, but taking the league and the Euros by storm, really.
Right, exactly. And everyone was judging her, saying, why would you leave Oregon and come back to the WBBL? That doesn't make any sense. But in all honesty, I think that now looking at it, it's a great choice because she's able to now get international experience with GB. She's able to play in the Euro Cup, playing professionally. So yeah, she's looking great out there. And it's nice as well because she's in the hands of like Joe Leader, Mark Clark, great coach, and Azania. So she's surrounded by so much talent that it's gonna be mind blowing by the time she's 27 to see what she's gonna play like.
I think she's probably one of the most exciting players to kind of come through and potentially see this development through the years. I think it's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything else stick out for me from this season? Obviously, Newcastle's really slow start to the league season, losing against Caledonia and things like that, and things just weren't seem to be gelling. But they've won a couple of games now, and maybe starting to turn a corner against Durham and against Cardiff. Does any other teams stick out for you?
I'm intrigued about Essex. Because we haven't really touched on them too much. They've had they've played the Lions, but who was it they just played? Was it Durham?
They beat Durham by 20 odd, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued to see them play teams like Sheffield, for example. I think that would be a really good matchup. But yeah, I'm curious because they've got a better team than last season, but they're not doing as good as last season.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because they played London twice, Sevenoaks twice, but then the games that against Manchester they won by 40, and then against Durham again 23. So I think they are one to watch. I think you're right. It's interesting to see who they got next. Cardiff next on Saturday. So again, a game that you probably would expect Essex to win.
Yeah.
Not giving away any of my predictions.
No, I'm with you on that one though. Oh gosh. And I'm intrigued to see if Wave is gonna dunk, give us a little little surprise breakaway layup or breakaway dunk. I'm legit waiting for that. And that could be the perfect like promo for like a game on Sky Sports or something, because everyone believes that women can't dunk. She just, here you go, guys. This is what you want, right? Come watch our games.
I mentioned before about the Sheffield London game, but that is in the cup. It's a semi-final, so looking for the first team to book their place in Birmingham for January. Which again, you mentioned Sky Sports. The final will be on Sky Sports.
Yeah.
So, Newcastle Leicester play in the other semi-final on the 4th of December. So, I mean, looking at simplicity, you look like the winner of that semi-final, Sheffield London, possibly go on to win the final as well.
But, yeah, I think so. And well, the way Leicester played London, it will be an okay a final, even though I wanted it to be 7-0 against London. But
Wait a minute, you're talking like Newcastle aren't going to win that semi-final?
sorry, Chris. Sorry, Chris.
See, Newcastle have got home court advantage.
It's true, and every time Newcastle have home court advantage, we've seen what happened last season. They just go off. So, and maybe I shouldn't speak too soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip this bit up, right? And I'm gonna play it on the 5th of December when Newcastle win. Well, Melita didn't believe in you guys, but
do you know what would be hysterical? Like, I could imagine like Abby Lowe making a TikTok like with that comment, and then everyone just be like, "I told you so."
So yeah, Abby, you know what to do.
Prove me wrong, Abby. Prove me wrong.
Other games this weekend, we've got Sevenoaks and Durham, Manchester, Auckland, and then Newcastle against Nottingham. Well, Nottingham against Newcastle because it's down in Nottingham. And then on the Sunday, we've got Sheffield, Caledonia, and Leicester against yourselves.
Yeah.
So as you say, you're not really sure, but you're feeling confident for that one.
No, yeah, I am. And especially because they've got a brand new coach. Maybe we don't know if one of the ladies have left the team. Also their point guard was injured as well. I think she's made a comeback, but she will be out of touch a little bit. So I feel like right now we are at an advantage. So hopefully
fresh, fresh legs and all that fitness, where you'll be blowing them off the course.
Exactly. And we forgot to mention that is it Durham? No, Caledonia, sorry. Have their new players.
Yeah, so we were expecting them to bring in some names, and they've announced the American.
Yeah.
We'll have to get her on. We'll have to get her on the show and get to know her a bit more. Coming in halfway through the season.
Yeah. Who did you say they're playing this weekend again?
Caledonia have got Sheffield away.
Sheffield.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it should be interesting.
See
like how dominant she's gonna be. And then there might be another American coming. We'll see. I think they might just be at the bottom and just shoot right up to the top of the league.
Yeah, the sleeping giants. Watch out for Caledonia.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've kind of covered everything, like a whistle-stop tour of the last 4 weeks, and kind of trying to keep everyone up to date.
Right.
But now we're back in the game. Every weekly podcast now. Apologies for the last few weeks, but lots going on. But but no, again, if you've enjoyed our chat, make sure you share it and make sure you like it and give it a rating or give it a like. Whatever you do, I don't really know about these things, but it looks good when it's got loads of likes on it, doesn't it? So
yeah.
Subscribe. That's what you do with these kind of things.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe down below and they pop it up.
Where's the button? Is it there? But no, it's always a pleasure, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Finally back playing.
Missed it.
And I'll talk to you after then.
Yep. Okay.
Right. Have a good one.
Bye.